Welcome to PillowTalk, the ethics of no choice. If free will is just an illusion, what does that mean for how we assign guilt, responsibility, punishment, or praise? For centuries, our moral systems have relied on the idea that people freely choose their actions. But if that's not true, should we rethink the entire framework of justice and ethics? Philosopher Sam Harris and others argue that since individuals do not choose their genetics, their early experiences, or the thoughts and desires that arise in their minds, it's misguided to treat wrongdoing as a fully voluntary act. People's behaviors are shaped by countless factors beyond their control, from brain chemistry to social environment. Punishing someone as if they had absolute control over their choices ignores this complexity. Instead of condemnation, Harris suggests justice should focus on compassion, understanding, and rehabilitation. The goal is no longer revenge or moral retribution, but to prevent harm and improve lives. This shift in thinking about morality is deeply unsettling for many. It challenges fundamental ideas about personal responsibility, fairness, and desert. If people can't truly be blamed for their actions, what grounds do we have for punishment? Yet, this perspective offers something profound, a more humane and effective approach to justice. It encourages us to focus on healing, reducing suffering, and addressing root causes of harmful behavior rather than inflicting suffering as payback. Such a view could transform prisons into centers for rehabilitation rather than punishment, and reshape society's response to crime and wrongdoing. Without free will, praise and blame lose some of their meaning, and instead, empathy and support take center stage. But what if the whole idea of making choices is itself meaningless? Imagine a world where you appear to make decisions, but none of those decisions actually matter. The inescapable future. Could we have chosen differently? Or is the future already sealed, locked in place like a predetermined story? This question cuts to the heart of how we understand time, choice, and existence itself. Some interpretations of physics propose a startling idea that past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. No flow of time, no becoming, just being. Imagine time not as a river carrying you forward, but as a vast landscape, every moment laid out like frames in a film reel. You don't move through it. You simply experience it. This idea is known as the block universe or Eternalism. According to this view, time is another dimension similar to space. Just as all places exist regardless of where you stand, all moments in time exist regardless of your perception. The future isn't waiting to happen. It already is. Every event, every decision, every outcome exists, fixed and immutable. The now is just the frame your consciousness happens to be observing. If true, this challenges the very notion of free will. How can you truly choose when all your choices and their consequences already lie ahead, as real and certain as the past? Your sense of making decisions, influencing outcomes, and shaping your destiny may be a comforting illusion. If the future already exists, your choices are not open possibilities, but moments already set in stone. You are not the author of your story, but a character reading lines written before the play began. It can feel disempowering, even terrifying, to realize you might just be watching a film unfold rather than directing it. Yet despite this, we live as if we are free. We plan, we decide, we dream of alternate paths. This tension between how things seem and how they might be is a haunting contradiction, one that forces us to rethink everything we thought we knew about freedom, responsibility, and meaning. Take a moment now. Feel yourself drifting through this endless film strip of time, the past and future stitched together seamlessly. The frames move, but you do not steer. Next, let's explore the eerie sensation at the core of this paradox. Why do we feel free even when our choices may have already been made? The paradox of choice. Why does freedom feel so undeniably real, even when logic, science, and philosophy all challenge its existence? This paradox strikes at the core of human experience. We live our lives believing in the power to choose, yet when we dig deeper, the foundation of that belief becomes shaky, if not entirely illusory. Our subjective experience of choice is vivid, immediate, and compelling. When you decide what to eat for dinner, which route to take home, or even what thoughts to entertain, you feel like the author of those decisions. Yet, decades of philosophical debate and scientific research, from determinism in physics to neuroscience experiments, suggest that these choices might be predetermined by prior causes outside your conscious control. Psychology adds another layer. The mind seems wired to construct a coherent story of agency, a narrative that centers on me as the decision maker. This story is so convincing that it shapes our very sense of self. But this compelling narrative could be a sophisticated illusion, a survival mechanism that helps us navigate a complex world, making action possible despite the underlying chains of causality. If free will is just a useful fiction, what does that mean for responsibility, creativity, or personal growth? Perhaps it doesn't matter whether free will is real in an objective sense. What might matter more is that it feels real enough to motivate us, to give our lives meaning and direction. This paradox doesn't resolve itself easily. It invites us to accept uncertainty, to hold two conflicting truths at once: that our choices are both experienced as free and possibly predetermined. That tension can be unsettling, but it's also deeply human. Now, let's leave the strictly rational world behind for a moment and dream. What if free will exists, but only in a way we cannot yet fully understand or describe? What if it is hidden within the very fabric of consciousness, waiting to be discovered in new and surprising forms? The possibility beyond logic. Some philosophers and mystics suggest free will might exist, not despite determinism, but beyond it. Instead of seeing choice as a personal, isolated act, they propose it as a cosmic phenomenon. Eastern philosophies like Advaita Vedanta teach that the self is not separate from the universe. According to Advaita, all apparent distinctions dissolve into one ultimate reality called Brahman. The sense of being a separate I is an illusion, a temporary play of consciousness. In this view, you and the world are not two. They are expressions of the same underlying being. If individuality is illusory, then choice is not personal but universal. Free will is the universe choosing itself through each living form, including you. This idea is echoed in Taoism's concept of wu-wei, non-action, or effortless flow, and in Sufi mysticism's surrender to divine will. These traditions emphasize harmony with a greater whole rather than isolated agency. Though this perspective lies beyond scientific proof and measurable logic, it offers a poetic possibility that free will is not bound by cause and effect, nor by randomness, but is a spontaneous unfolding of cosmic consciousness. It challenges our usual notions of control, responsibility, and identity. Instead of a separate chooser, we become channels for the universe's infinite creativity. As we ponder this, we reach the edge of understanding, where words and reason fade. Beyond logic lies silence, the space where all inquiry ends and deeper truths quietly reside. In our final segment, we will explore this silence, the mysterious ground where free will, self, and universe meet. The calm within the chaos. After everything we've explored, free will's paradoxes, the science, the philosophy, there's a surprising final reflection. Maybe it doesn't ultimately matter whether free will exists or not. Regardless of whether our decisions are determined by prior causes or shaped by randomness, we still experience life in real time. We still breathe. We still feel. We still choose, at least, it feels that way. And perhaps that experience, that sense of personal agency, is meaningful in itself. Even if free will is just an illusion crafted by the brain, a useful story we tell ourselves, it profoundly shapes how we live. The experience of I choose is vivid and real to us. Instead of endlessly debating metaphysics, maybe the deeper truth is in how we live through each moment. Maybe real freedom is not found in escaping causality, but in embracing awareness. That awareness, the full presence of now, is its own kind of liberation. It's a calm center within life's chaos. Mindfulness traditions remind us that we don't need to control every outcome to find peace. When we release the need to force or resist reality, we uncover a softer power, acceptance. This doesn't mean abandoning responsibility. It means understanding it with more compassion. When we recognize the limits shaping every action, biology, upbringing, culture, we stop assigning harsh blame. We still act. We still respond. But with understanding, the world is uncertain. Life is unpredictable. But presence is steady. In this awareness, freedom is not total control. It is clarity and choice within each unfolding moment. So pause. Close your eyes. Let go of needing an answer. You are here. You are aware. And in this moment, you are free.